Hey there, Castle here. What we're going to do with this video is just going to be a review for what you probably just spent 2 or 3 hours with me learning the what, the how, and the why of. This is our stretching routine. This is a review video. This is not an instructional video. If you run into any problems, don't hesitate, give me a call. Okay? Alright, first thing we did was called spinal rocking. Spinal rocking is really a warm-up, but it's also going to help to start to stretch out the erector spinae muscles in your low back around the lumbar spine. Just start it out, sitting position like this, grab behind your knees. You're just going to rock. You don't need to get too far up onto your neck. This is mostly about rocking through the lumbar spine area. You're looking for a nice smooth rock through. If you feel a flat spot in there, you'll know what it is. It feels like a flat tire. That's what we're trying to get rid of. You can probably do about 20 of these. Get yourself warmed up. Okay. Alright. Next thing we move to is the hamstring stretch. Loop around the foot, loop around the head. There's no pressure on the back of your neck. You're controlling everything with your hands. Okay? Opposite leg lays flat. You can see we're in a position where we're hip flexed and knee flexed. Okay? So the hip is going to stay in the flexed position, but we're going to extend our knee. Up into that stretch. There's the stretch. You get up in the stretch and you might want to pull your toes down toward your knee to really complete the stretch. Okay? We're going to hold it for a while. I'm going to speed it up because of the video. Alright, we're going to change feet. You got hip flexion and knee flexion. Keep the hip flexion, push up into knee extension. Pull those toes down toward your knee. Control everything really with your hands. Alright. That's the hamstring stretch. Okay, we get through the hamstring stretch. We're going to move into some trunk rotation. Okay? The trunk rotation, that's the name of the stretch. It's really hip and shoulder counter rotation. Start with that hand weight over your right hand. Bring your knees up. Drop your hips to the left. Okay, now you're getting a stretch all through the serratus, the obliques, and the hips on this side, as well as the pec. You got to let yourself relax a little bit. Once you got this stretch working for you, you can increase the intensity by pulling that top leg. Take your hand, pull a little bit over, farther to the left. Then just kind of rest in that position. Try to breathe, relax. I'm going to switch it up, change the weight. Other hand, hips counter rotate. Kind of wait till you get comfortable. I'm speeding it up, but you're going to wait until you're comfortable here. Then you pull that leg over a little bit farther. You get a little bit of extra stretch in through here. It's hip and shoulder counter rotation. You're going to move into the hip flexor stretch. Hip flexor stretch. You put a loop around one foot. You're always, if it's the left foot, the loop's in the right hand. Okay, and vice versa. So if it's on the left foot, we're going to roll onto our right side. So as we roll onto our right side, both the foot and the hand go behind our back. This gets us into the stretch position for the hip flexor. Now you reach up with your free hand here, grab your knee. That stabilizes the bottom hip. So now this is the hip. Now we're stretching the hip. We're extending flexing your glute, extending your hip this way, and you're using your hand that's in the top of the loop to help out a little bit. You're giving a little pull with that hand. So now we get a nice stretch working in this position. Once you start to get comfortable in this position, you can let go of your knee. You're not even using, you're going to stop pulling with the yoga strap. You take your top hand, you're going to reach and stretch, pushing your hand over your head, and then you can take your other hand and grab the wrist and pull as you're doing that. Okay? And that's what completes pushing this knee down. That's what completes the hip flexor stretch. Okay? So now we're going to come up and change hands. We're still in the left foot, right hand. Go right foot, left hand. Since our right foot has the loop around it, we're going to roll onto our left side. Both your foot and your hand go behind. That starts to get the hip flexor stretch. We reach down here, grab that knee to stabilize the other hip, and then you kind of want to roll up so that your hips are stacked. And you create that creates the stretch. Okay? Once you start to feel comfortable in this stretched position, you let your foot drop down onto the floor. You release your knee. You're not really using the yoga strap now anymore. This hand comes up so that you're reaching over your head. But you can take that hand around the wrist. You can pull it with your other arm. So you're stretching and pulling at the same time here. And then you're driving this knee toward the floor. So you drive that knee toward the floor. You create this long stretch. That's how you complete the hip flexor stretch. Right there. Okay? All right. The next stretch was the external rotator stretch. The external rotators are the hip stabilizers. It's going to feel more like your hip is being stretched, but you're going to feel it across your butt too. Okay, anyway. We rock back. We're going to start out, we're going to take our right foot, bring it across our knee in the figure 4 position. Reach down with your left hand around your foot. You reach through with your right hand, grab that knee, and you're pulling your hips up. You're pulling your knee and you're pulling your foot toward your head a little bit, okay? This is creating a stretch. Stretches on this side. When your right foot's up in the figure 4, you're stretching your right hip. Drop your shoulders and your head down onto the mat. That'll help you get a better stretch, and then you just kind of rock a little bit. Okay? We'll switch that around. Left foot comes up in the figure 4. Right hand goes around that foot. Left hand reaches through to the right knee. Drop your head and shoulders back on the mat. And then start rocking. Pull your hands toward your head. Okay? That's the external rotator stretch. Last one is the triceps suri stretch. It's just another term for your calf. You're going to use a pseudo down dog position like this, and what we're really doing is through your hands you're pushing your hips backwards, okay? And as we do that, if we lock our knees out like this and push our hips back, it'll push our heels down to the floor. That's going to create a stretch in the upper part of your calf called the gastrocnemius. And if we bend a knee like this and push, it's going to create a stretch down in the lower part of the calf and the Achilles tendon. Okay? So what we're doing is we're just I rock back and forth from left foot to right foot. But you can see as my knee is completely extended, I'm getting the top part of my calf. Okay, back and forth. Once you get a good stretch there, now you're going to drop your weight onto one side, the left side here, right? You're pushing back with your hands. You're going to start to feel that stretch shift from up here down into your calf. I take the other foot and I just rest it on there, right? You can even rock left to right a little bit with this. Forward and backward. Shift it up to the other foot. Got to get that knee bent. Okay, pushing forward, backward, rocking left and right. Okay, all right. That's the tricep surae stretch. Hopefully, this is enough of a review so that if there's anything you can't quite remember, this will give you the answer that you need. But if you're really stuck on something, don't hesitate. Just give me a call. The thing you got to remember is rhythmic application. Got to do this every day. If you do it 6 out of 7 days, that's okay too. All right.